Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jenny. I'm a tropical Western astrologer. And today we're going to talk about the new moon in Aquarius. What is a new moon? What is a Aquarius new moon all about? We're going to talk about all the things, and I'm going to give an all signs forecast so that you can find where this new moon is hitting your natal birth chart so that you will know the area of life to set the new moon manifestations. So, what am I talking about? How do you manifest with the new moon? I'm so glad you asked because I just wrote the journal. I just wrote the book on how to do it. So this goes through all of the moons of 2025. It is the moon journal that I always wanted, okay? I was always looking for what the date is, what the degree is, what does it mean to have an Aries full moon? What does it mean to have an Aries new moon? What does it mean to have an Aries moon in your chart? How do you manifest with the moon? When do you manifest with the moon? All those things I have included. So if you look at this beautiful journal, if you look inside, we're going to the January moons. Here we are. The new moon in January is January 29th. It is at 9 degrees of Aquarius. In the last video, we went over the full moon on January 13th, which was at 23 degrees of Cancer. So you can go back and look at that video if you like. But in today's video, we're going over this one. I also teach you how to use the last quarter moon, letting go and reflection phase, as well as the first quarter moon planning and taking action phase. And I give you journal prompts for each moon. So we're talking about this one. This is the one we're talking about in this video today. It is the new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius. And just for this video, I'm going to show you a little sneak peek inside this book that I've created for you. What does it mean to have an Aquarius moon, you ask? Okay, so if you have a natal Aquarius moon, first and foremost, you're having a moon return with this new moon, so congratulations. If you're born under a new moon in Aquarius versus a full moon in Aquarius, then this is your moon return that you can magically manifest with. So stay tuned for everything in this video. I'm just going to read right now. What does it mean? If you don't have an Aquarius moon, if you would like to know what does that mean to have an Aquarius moon, I'm just going to read the page that I put together on Aquarius moon, or if your moon is in the 11th house. So even if it's a different sign, your moon would be acting like an Aquarius moon because it is in the 11th house. So here goes. I'm just going to read this page for you. If you were born with an Aquarius moon, or if your moon is in the 11th house, you might feel like you come from a different planet than everyone else. You are a light worker to help raise the vibration on the planet and introduce innovative ideas to humanity. It's important for you to embrace your human body and the earth experience, or you might become detached from people, cold and aloof. It is advised to stay stimulated and feel a deep emotional connection to something that is very unique. Unique is probably the word that we're going to talk about. I'm going to use that word over and over again in this video. Unique. Aquarius is unique. It is advised to stay stimulated and feel a deep emotional connection to something that is very unique. Again, processing emotions can be tricky for you. And it is important to disconnect for a while and then come back to Earth to deal. You are unique and you feel like an alien a lot of the time, but don't forget, humanity needs you and to bring your unique gifts badly. So again, I use the word unique quite a few times there. So this is Aquarius moon people, but it's also Aquarius sun people that probably resonated deeply. Or if you have a stellium of planets in the 11th, if you're an 11th house person. And then in this journal that I've created, not only did I give you the dates and the degrees, and then I gave you journal prompts for each moon. And so for the new moon on January the 29th, you'll see that's on this page. I ask you to write on this, to meditate and then write on this. Under the influence of this new moon in Aquarius, I feel intuitively guided to write out my intentions for this new beginning. And then you have room to write. So I just wanted to show you inside. There's so much in here. I go through all the moons and give you all the journal prompts, and I talk to you about what is the moon in astrology, what each moon is, and the phases of the moon. So it's such a great resource. This is, like I said, this is the moon journal that I always wanted. I could never find it. And so I made it. And it's available for you to purchase on Amazon. If you'd prefer it in an ebook PDF form, then you can get that on my website. You'll see links. I'll provide all of the links in the description below. So, an Aquarius new moon at 9 degrees. Let's talk about it's on January 29th, as we said, 4:35 a.m. PST is when it'll be very, very early on the West Coast here. So adjust that for where you live on the planet. Let's talk about First of all, let's talk about what a new moon is. That's when the sun and the moon are together in the sky at the exact same degree. They're both at 9 degrees Aquarius, the sun and the moon. And so you don't see it in the sky. And so that's the time to set an intention at the new moon. And I go over that in my journal quite a bit, that is your magical manifestation time. At any new moon, that is the time to set the intention for the next 6 months. That's where you set your 6 month goals. That's where you set your intentions for the next 6 months. So that at the full moon, 6 months later in Aquarius, and I walk you through that in this book, you look back 6 months and you'll have the evidence because you've written it down. So you look back and you see what were my intentions so that at the full moon, you'll see what has or has not manifested. And that, my friends, is how we manifest with the moons. So at the time of this 9 degree Aquarius new moon, the sun and the moon are together and dark in the sky. That's when you plant the seeds. So you think about it. When you plant seeds into the ground, it's underneath, it's dark. And so you plant it and you don't expect it to be all of a sudden there. You plant the seeds and you wait for them to grow. You understand that that is the process of planting a seed, and then you wait patiently and you watch and you care for it. And with the first quarter and the last quarter moon phase, I teach you that that's when you're caring for the seeds that you have planted. And I teach you how to use that as well. That's another trick for manifesting with the moons. So, new moon, sun, moon are together, dark in the sky. That's when you plant the seeds. And it's also the conjunction point. So in astrology, the word conjunction is when planets are together. So if you have planets together in your natal birth chart, it doesn't have to be the exact same degree, but close to the planet, close to the degree. It always means new start. When you have conjunctions in your natal birth chart, it always means you're going to go through a lot of new starts, new start, new start. So in my natal birth chart, I have the sun and Jupiter together, almost very, very close degrees. And so new starts there, new starts there, new starts there. So you'd have to, I'd be happy to look at your birth chart and see if you have any conjunctions and what this would mean in your birth chart. You would look at the house placement so that you could decipher what this means for you. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can see that in the description below as well. Okay, but at any new moon, it's when the sun and the moon are together, okay, in the skies. And this particular new moon at 9 degrees Aquarius, it's conjunct Mercury. So Mercury is close as well. It's at 2 degrees Aquarius. So not the same degree, it's 7 degrees away, but it is a conjunction. We've got Mercury at 2 degrees Aquarius and conjunct Pluto at 1 degrees Aquarius. That's right. We've got Mercury, Pluto, Sun, Moon, all together in Aquarius at the time of this new moon on January the 29th. Also, the astrology of this new moon is there's a trine to Jupiter over in Gemini. Jupiter is retrograde and it's at 11 degrees Gemini at the time of this new moon. So trine is a happy it's a happy configuration that you're going to find, and it looks like this, and it's blue lines if you're looking at astro.com, and it's a happier, easier, helpful vibe. So to get a trine from Jupiter, Jupiter is the great benefic. It is Santa Claus energy. It brings gifts. It is joyful, but it also expands everything. So if you're going about your life and you're like, well, I hate people. And Jupiter says, oh, hey, I will expand that for you. Yes, I will show you so many examples of how you hate people, and you are going to hate these people everywhere you go. So Jupiter just expands, right? Usually bringing beautiful gifts, but again, check yourself. Where are your thoughts going? And Jupiter will always expand, especially when there's trine energy, or if you've got a trine next to your sun, like I do in my natal birth chart. And that's an astrologer could help you decipher that energy in your own natal birth chart. But this particular new moon has quite a lot of new start energy. Not only the sun and moon together, we've got Mercury there, we've got Pluto there. Pluto just entered Aquarius, kickstarting the age of Aquarius. And I did a whole video on that. You can go back and look at that one too. Um, Pluto into Aquarius is new world energy. It is the future. It is what's coming. You gotta let it go because we're looking forward to new technologies and everything new. Okay, so also in the skies at the same time, not making conjunctions or trines to the new moon, but we've got Mars retrograde in Cancer. And again, Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini. Don't forget as well, and this is another video I've made, that we've got 18 months of the nodes being in Pisces and Virgo. So Pisces has just entered at 29 degrees. The North Node is just joined 29 degrees of Pisces. So this energy is encouraging all of us to let go, let Goddess forgive, forgive. And did I mention to forgive? Be compassionate. We're all being encouraged to really dive deep into our spiritual beliefs and into that forgiveness energy. So the nodes are in Pisces at 29 Virgo and 29 Pisces. Uranus is going to be going in, or sorry, Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus. It will be going direct, is what I meant to say. It will be going direct on the 30th. So the day after the new moon, Uranus, which is one of the rulers of Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and by Uranus. So Uranus is going direct the day after the new moon at 23 degrees of Taurus. And then, not to mention, the Lunar New Year is on the same day as the new moon. So, January 29th is the Lunar New Year. It is the year of the wood snake, and the snake is all about shedding skins. And the nodes being in Pisces and Virgo is all about just letting go of those little nitty bitty little nitpicking details and micromanaging and neat freak, and it has to be this way. We're letting go of that stuff and we're embracing more of a Pisces vibe of forgiving, just letting go of the details. It's okay. It's okay. It's not done exactly the way you want it done. Things like that. And the snake, since this is the Lunar New Year, new moon, the snake is all about just shedding those old skins. And if you have been a micromanager your whole life, or if you have been nitpicky and it has to be this way, you're letting it go. And the snake, the wood snake, is encouraging all of us to shed those old skins, to transform your life. It's a very empowering new moon at 9 degrees Aquarius, I must say, especially with the conjunctions to Mercury and Pluto. Mercury rules our mind, our thoughts, our thinking, as well as what we're saying. What are the words that are coming out of our mouths? What are we writing? What are the messages that we're putting out there to the world? And we're just saying, even in our everyday transactions, what's the new beginning we would like there? Would we like to speak nicer words, or to stop gossiping, or to stop the negative words? Pluto's encouraging all of us to look to the future and just forget about the negative programming, the negative where we were in the past. It doesn't define us anymore because we are now going into a totally new energy. So I do really enjoy this new moon at 9 degrees Aquarius. And It's encouraging all of us to be unique because Aquarius is extremely unique. And as I was reading in my moon journal, when you have an Aquarius moon, you might feel like a little bit of an alien because you are so unique. You are an outside the box thinker. Aquarius is the great genius, hands down. Extremely forward thinking, futuristic. It is the future. So wherever Aquarius is in your natal birth chart, that's where this new moon is hitting. That's where you're going to want to write out your new intentions. I'm going to walk you through the 12 houses. But again, wherever Aquarius is in your natal birth chart, this is where you are unique. This is where you are future thinking and you have that opportunity. And you might not feel it yet, and it might not have been activated yet in your life, but you have that opportunity to be unique, to be different than everybody else, to go outside the norms and to think outside the box. This is wherever Aquarius falls in our all of our birth charts somewhere in some area of our life. And this new moon is encouraging all of us to use our mind because it's conjunct Mercury, use our words and our messages as well as use that Pluto energy of transformation. And it's like, no, I'm no longer going to be thinking that way. I'm going to rewire my brain. And that's so shadow work. Another book I've written is how to do astrology and shadow work. And this is all about rewiring your brain, understanding that we all have programs, understanding that those triggers are programs. And so, how do you reprogram? And that is so Pluto and Mercury together working their magic at the time of this new moon. Um, write it down, write down your intentions. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna walk you through the 12 houses. Wherever Aquarius falls in your natal birth chart, this is the area of life that you want to write down your intention. And then, of course, you want to keep your journal by your bedside. And then in 6 months at the full moon in Aquarius, you're going to look back and you're going to see what has and what has not shown up or manifested from those new moon intentions. So I'm helping you every step of the way with these astrology videos and updates, as well as with my new moon, full moon journals so that you can learn how to use the cosmos. It's literally coaching with the cosmos. That's what I specialize in. And whether I'm looking at your natal birth chart or whether I'm doing these videos online for you, that's what I love to do, is to do the coaching with the cosmos so that we can learn to embrace this energy. I always say you don't need astrology, but it's very validating because I cannot tell you how many emails and messages I get from friends and family, clients saying, "What's going on in the cosmos right now? I can feel something." And that's just it. We can feel it and we do feel the guidance. And it's in times like this when we can know when the transits are happening, when we know what's actually happening, and then working with the energy. And it becomes very empowering when we know how to work with it and to go back and to look at our journal, our moon journals, look back on the years from before and just say, yeah, I did that. I co-created with the universe. Mic drop. Okay, let's go through the house placement of Aquarius. This is where the new moon is hitting in your natal birth chart. And this is where you're going to want to set those new intentions. At the Lunar New Year for the wood snake, we're going to embrace all of those vibes, especially with Pluto conjunct this new moon as well. So let's talk about it. Does Aquarius fall in your first house? That means you're an Aquarius rising, and I love you. I love you, Aquarius rising people. You're a rare rising sign. In my humble opinion, as an astrologer, I've been reading charts for years. It is rare to see an Aquarius rising, and when I see it, I love it because you are the future. You are the future thinkers, and people see you that way. So, your first house, no matter what sign it is, that's like your cosmic business card. Hello, and this is me. So, it's the way people see you, right? And so, It's not necessarily your soul, it's not necessarily your deepest emotions, but it's the way you show up in the world and it's the way that people see you. So if you're an Aquarius rising, if Aquarius is in your first house, maybe you do look a little bit different. The pink hair, the nose rings, the piercings, the tattoos, whatever, that sort of thing. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Or maybe you don't. And maybe you just are a little bit different. Maybe you're just, and you've always felt that way. You've always felt that. And people have always seen you as being just a little bit different. You're just a little bit different. And I just say thank you so much for making it. We need you Aquarius rising people in this world because with Pluto going through that first house, you're feeling it. You are completely transforming. Embrace this, such an opportunity for you to embrace that Pluto going through your first house and just to completely transform your life. But back to this new moon going through your first house. This is the area of life that you're going to write your intention. Grab your new moon journal, get out the pen, and what you're going to do is you're going to write an intention, and it can be anything. It can be about your appearance because first house does rule your appearance. So maybe you want to get a haircut, maybe you want the new tattoo. Yeah, maybe it's stuff like that. Maybe you want to lose 100 pounds, you know? Yes, yes, the first house does rule things like that. And to set an intention about your appearance definitely could be a big part of it. But the thing is, when you've got the new moon going through your first house, this could be any area of your life. You really do have a free card here when you've got a new moon in your first house, and you can do anything you want. I want this thing. I intend to have this thing. I intend to do this thing. I intend to be this thing. You really do have the free card when you've got the new moon going through your first house, and it is an exciting opportunity. If you are an Aquarius rising, please do not waste this energy at the time of this new moon. You've got a conjunction to Mercury, a conjunction to Pluto, trining Jupiter. Jupiter wants to bring you gifts. It's on the day of the Lunar New Year, the wood snake. It's time for transformation. So, yeah, I got a little bit crazy there, Aquarius risings. I'm sorry. Please do forgive. But please, I'm begging you, if you don't get the book, it's okay. Get your own journal and write it out because you've got some serious, exciting power on this new moon to really change things, to really transform things and make it unique, make it future thinking, right? Think about your future when you're writing this out. And again, it could have to do with losing weight or, gaining weight or something about your appearance, or it could just be anything that you're envisioning for your future for the better. Okay, does Aquarius rule your second house? The second house is two things, worthiness and worthiness, self-worth and the worth, the money that you put into your bank account. Okay, it's the money you make. It's not the money you're making from, an inheritance or anything like that. No, it's the money that you're making and you're putting into your own bank account, and it has to do with your self-worth. So at the time of this new moon, grab your new moon journal, grab your journal and write down your second house intentions about I intend to make more money. I intend to make more money. I intend to work on my self-worth. I intend, it has to do, your intentions have to do with your worthiness and what you are worth. And so you could phrase it about, by the time in the 6 months period, I intend to have a raise, I intend to receive a raise at work or to make more money. Something about the money you make or your worthiness. And again, when you know you are worthy, it's really, really stepping into that self-worth. That's when the flow of the money comes. That's when the possessions come toward you. That's when that energetic flow between you and money can really work together. Does Aquarius rule your third house? Well, I can tell you you're a smart person because the third house is it's ruled by Gemini, which is the other thinker, but the Aquarius is the big thinker. So you're a thinker, you're an amazing thinker. And maybe you want to make a new intention regarding the way that you think. Maybe you want to rewire with shadow work. You want to rewire your programs. Maybe you want to set intentions about a new writing career or a new writing project because third house is all things writing, speaking, communicating, the words that you say, the thoughts that you think. So it could be you want to rewire all those things and you really want to use that Lunar New Year wood snake and the Pluto conjunction to transform the way you think, the way you speak, the way you write. Maybe. Maybe it also has to do, the third house is the junk drawer in astrology. Maybe it's about an intention, about a car, about a bike, about a scooter, because it's all things transportation. Third house is also all things short distance travel. So a trip, a couple hours away from your home, nothing overseas, but a nearby trip. Third house is also cousins, siblings. It's also friends that feel like cousins and siblings. See, third house is a lot of things. That's why I call it the junk drawer. But if you were to say that the third house is just one thing, the third house is your communication. And so set the intentions. Grab your moon journal at the time of this new moon in Aquarius. This is where you're unique because Aquarius rules your third house. You are unique here. And so set an intention with that unique, future thinking, forward thinking, brilliant mind thinking when you write out your intentions, all those third house things I just said, and maybe it's a combination. Like maybe you want to have more communication with your sibling. That's a great intention. Things like that. So just think third house things. That's where your intentions are going. Keep it unique. Keep it future thinking, forward thinking. The great genius, greatest good for all. That is Aquarius energy. Does Aquarius rule your fourth? Fourth house is all things family, mother wounds, mother lineage, your mother's line, family. It's also all things house, home, property. So when you grab your moon journal and you're writing out your intentions, you're thinking as an Aquarius, which is a brilliant forward thinking, future thinking, unique, greatest good for all thinking. That's how a great high vibing Aquarius would think when it comes to fourth house things. So a new house, maybe, new home, new property, moving, maybe, or stuff with your mom. Maybe there needs to be a reset convo, healing situation with your mom or with someone in your mom's lineage or with your family in general. But think of the future. Think forward thinking. Think greatest good for all when you're writing out your moon intentions, because this is the area of life that you are very unique and you are very future thinking and you are very forward thinking and you can really tap into that greatest good for all vibe. And so maybe you are a mom and you have lots of kids and now you have a blended family and you are keeping your eye on the prize, greatest good for all, and you have some goals about the blended family that you'd like to see in 6 months. Maybe you're starting that phase in your life. Maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you want to move. You see yourself moving, but you want it. You're scared because your kids are happy in this community and you want greatest good for all. Your highest goal is always greatest good for all, wherever Aquarius falls in your natal birth chart. So when you're writing out your new moon intentions on the January 29th, day after as well, this is where when you're thinking future, forward, greatest good for all those fourth house things. Does Aquarius fall into your fifth house? The fifth house is the fun house. It's the best fun house. So it's all things creative and art projects and anything creative, anything that is you create is creative. So it doesn't have to be a masterpiece that you've painted, but it might be a masterpiece that you've painted. But I'll tell you, since Aquarius rules your fifth house, this is where you are very unique. This is where you are the great genius. This is where you are future thinking, forward thinking, and you have that opportunity your whole life to be extremely creative and think in the future and invent things and create things that are future thinking and forward thinking. And maybe you felt like a total alien your whole life whenever you create something because it's something no one's ever seen or no one's ever done this before. But it's because this is where you are the great genius, and we all have this great genius within us, and it shows up on our birth chart. And so I do love Aquarius energy. I do. And this new moon is encouraging all of us to really tap in with the Mercury conjunct and the conjunction to Pluto. Shed the old skins. We've got the Lunar New Year on the same day. Shed the old skins. If you thought this is the only way you could create, say you've been an online creator and you've only been doing online courses, maybe, just maybe, what you're going to do at the time of this new moon is you're going to grab your moon journal for 2005 and you're going to write intentions to create something new and creative for your online community. Maybe something new with your kids too, because the fifth house rules children, and maybe you need a new start with your kids and you need to get creative. Maybe you've got teenagers and the relationship's not going 100%. And maybe just maybe you need to write a new intention. I need a new start with my kids, right? So give it a think. All things kids and games and creativity. This is your inner artist for sure. This is so creative energy. So get creative, think future, think forward thinking, and think this is where I'm very unique. So set that intention at the time of this new moon on January 29th and the day after as well. When you start to see the moon forming in the sky, that's when you can really get that journal out and start writing. Does Aquarius rule your sixth house? Okay. Wherever Aquarius falls in our natal birth chart, this is where we are the great genius. This is where we are future thinking. This is where we are forward thinking. This is where we're all being encouraged in our life to evolve to the point where we want the greatest good for all. So if Aquarius falls in your sixth house, it has everything to do with health, your health, the health of others, and not just body health. We're talking mental health, overall health. Okay. This is where you are the great genius. And so maybe, just maybe, you need to grab your moon journal at the time of this new moon and set an intention regarding your health because you are extremely brilliant when it comes to your health, and you're going to tap into what that inner voice, that inner genius, that something about your health. Maybe it's a whole new health routine that you want to start so that in 6 months time when the moon in Aquarius is full, you'll see, oh yeah, I set those intentions regarding my health and I did the damn thing every day, because the sixth house is the habits that you do every day. It's super boring. Sixth house is boring, but it's like going for that walk every day, doing that celery juice every day, quitting that sugar every day, quitting the nicotine every day, whatever it is that you're doing every day regarding your health. And again, not just body, it's your mental health too. And it's just like, observing. This really helps. This one really helps. I wrote the book on this because this is life-changing information here about reprogramming the triggers, those programs that have been running on repeat, knee-jerk reactions, staying small, staying in the ego. And so maybe that's something that you could write an intention about. Maybe you're being called to finally do the shadow work, finally getting real about the triggers, finally getting real about how every day you're going to show up and you're going to embrace the triggers as opposed to saying no to the triggers. So decipher for yourself, discern for yourself. That's such a sixth house word. Discern for yourself how you can have a new start with your health and set those intentions so that in 6 months' time, you can look back at your moon journal and you can say, yeah, I did that. I co-created with the universe, and yeah, I did that. Okay, does Aquarius rule your seventh house? Okay, so wherever Aquarius shows up for all of us, this is where we are the great genius. This is where we are future thinking. We are forward thinking. We are very inventive, very creative, brilliant energy. And it's always, when used in its highest expression, it's the greatest good for all. So if Aquarius falls in your seventh house, this is all about your closest relationships. So your spouse, your business partner, your bestest friends. Funny enough, it's also your open enemies, the people that that don't like you. You know they don't like you. But funny enough, it's all things relationships. This is the relationship house. So you are actually a genius when it comes to relationships. Maybe you haven't felt that way your whole life. Maybe you felt like a total alien your whole life. Because that energy, the Aquarius energy, can also feel like that. You can also feel like I don't belong. Relationships never work for me. Da 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 da. But you have the opportunity to be a great genius in this area of your life. So grab your moon journal at the time of this new moon in Aquarius and write out your intentions regarding relationships. Maybe it's regarding a best friend. Maybe it's regarding a spouse. Maybe you want a spouse. Maybe you have a spouse and you want a new beginning with the spouse. You don't want to break up. You want to have a fresh new beginning. And this is all, a new moon is always fresh new beginning. And we've got Pluto there. We've got the Lunar New Year, Year of the Snake. This is encouraging all of us to shed some skins, start fresh. So it's not like you have to throw out the old, everyone, all the relationships. It's not like you have to do that if Aquarius rules your seventh, but maybe it's fresh starts with the closest people in your life. That's up for you to discern and to set those intentions. And what I always encourage you to do is the day of the new moon, the day after the new moon, when you start to see the moon forming in the sky, that's when you can really set those intentions. Also, with this book, I teach you what to do. Write it out, think it, say it out loud, think it, feel it, own it. So I give you the manifestation tools to help you. And if you're looking to start a new relationship, maybe you would like a best friend, maybe you would like a spouse. Now is the perfect time to set those intentions with a new moon so that in 6 months' time, when the moon is full in Aquarius, you are able to look back on your moon journal and say, yeah, I created that. I co-created that with the universe. Okay, does Aquarius rule your eighth house? Okay, wherever Aquarius falls in your natal birth chart, this is where you are the great genius. This is where you're forward thinking, your future thinking. And in its highest vibe, the Aquarius is always thinking about humanity and the greatest good for all. So when we're talking about the eighth house is the transformation house. This is where you transform. This is where you become the butterfly. You are no longer the caterpillar. You couldn't even go back. If you wanted to be the caterpillar again, you couldn't. You couldn't even go back because you are the butterfly now. And so it is that phoenix rising from the ashes energy when it comes to the eighth house. So it's like at the time of this new moon, you might want to grab your moon journal and you might want to write your intention for a total transformation. Now, this could have to do with, completely transforming the way you eat, completely transforming the way that you move your body. This could any area of your life. I want to completely transform my career. I no longer want to be in this soul crushing career. We're talking a complete transformation of any sort. I can see that happening. You want to quit drinking. That's a great example. Like that's so eighth house. It's just like I'm going to completely transform. Grab your moon journal. Write out your intention. Eighth house also is a money house. So this is everything to do with the money that you make from other people, like an inheritance, like tax return, like investments with your husband, like your husband's money. It's stuff like that. So it is also a money house. There might be an intention you're going to set. about that kind. I call it the chunky money, right? It's also the sex house. So if you are lacking in having a sex life and you want that sex life, that's an intention you could write out. Or if you have a partner and you are currently not having sex and you want to be, you want to completely transform your intimacy, those are the kind of things that you can write your intentions about at the time of this new moon, especially when it's in your eighth house. It's all those transformational energies. Okay, does Aquarius rule your ninth? The ninth house. This, by the way, is where you are the great genius because Aquarius rules your ninth house. Wherever Aquarius falls for any of us, this is where all of us have the opportunity to rise up and be the great genius in our life. So, the future thinker, the forward thinker, the great humanitarian that always wants the greatest good for all. And so it's in the ninth house. That is a beautiful house for Aquarius to fall because it's ruled by Jupiter. It's very expansive. It's the house of religion and spirituality. It's what you believe. It's your dharma. It's like consequences. I've lived this great life, so my dharma is to have these gifts given to me. See, I'm hitting the microphone. That's just how beautiful the ninth house can be. The ninth house is also the great teacher. It is the university students and university classes. It is courses, which could be courses online too, of course. It's the great learner. It's the great teacher. It's the great learner. It's all things publishing as well. So, yes, publishing a book. So, if you have Aquarius in your ninth, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your moon journal and you're going to write out your intentions regarding all those ninth house things I just said. And maybe you do intend to start that book, to start writing that book, and in 6 months' time, being close to publishing it or published already. Or maybe you want to take that course, you want to apply for that university, or maybe you want to learn something new or teach. Maybe you want to be a teacher. Maybe you want to be a teacher. And so you're going to set the intention with all those things. And the other thing of the ninth house is it's foreign countries and foreigners. So maybe, just maybe you're writing that intention. I'm going to go on that trip to fill in the blank somewhere overseas. And it's also people from foreign countries. So, if you are in cahoots with someone from a foreign country, if you're in a relationship with someone who is from outside of your country, maybe you want to have an intention, maybe you want to start dating them, maybe you need to set some boundaries with them. All things foreigners, foreign country, learning, teaching, religion, spirituality, all those things. Get your moon journal out and write your intentions. And you're always thinking greatest good for all, future thinking, forward thinking. Okay, does Aquarius rule your 10th house? Well, aren't you smart? Because Aquarius rules the great genius. Aquarius is the great genius. And so if it's in your 10th house, I mean, come on. You're pretty brilliant in your career, and career means a lot to you, and you might even be an inventor. You might even invent things, okay? You might be the great researcher, the great scientist, because this is the great genius. And if it's in your 10th house, you came here to make a mark, and you are going to have social success. People are going to see because the 10th house is the top of the chart, and people see all this stuff. People see whatever is in your 10th house. And if you are an Aquarius 10th house person, well, then holy moly, you are a smart, career-driven person. And so it's also your father and your father figure. It's all the boss types and CEO figure types. And it's your title, it's a title change. It's your career. So get out your moon journal at the time of this new moon in Aquarius on the 29th and the day after as well. You get your pen out and you set your intention regarding all those things I just said. Maybe, just maybe, you want to get a new title in your career because that would be a double 10th house thing. Getting a title change and advancing your career. Maybe, just maybe, something to do with your dad. something to maybe a new beginning with your dad. Talk to your dad because it's all things dad and father figures as well. But typically, it's about your career and it's about setting those intentions for some kind of a, raise or some kind of a title change at the career from assistant to CEO. Maybe not that high of a jump, but you know what I'm saying. So set some intentions regarding your career and your social status. And always be thinking about the future, forward thinking. Maybe I couldn't even come up with an example of what you would do, what you would invent, but think big and think futuristic. And it's all things technology and sciencey things. Absolutely. And always the great Aquarius would be thinking of humanity and the greatest good for all. Okay, does Aquarius rule your 11th house? Well, this is where Aquarius belongs. That means you're an Aries rising. Aquarius loves being in the 11th house. It rules the 11th house, okay? And so all things 11th house is where you have an opportunity to be the great genius and be the forward thinker and have a fresh new start regarding all 11th house things. So things like friends, friendship groups, online groups, definitely is 11th house stuff. And it's also all things technology and the internet and brilliant inventions and the future things. I can't even think what they are. Think AI times a million, okay? So think about you grab your moon journal is what you do at the time of this new moon in Aquarius on January 29th and onward. And so you're going to take your pen and you're going to set intentions. I intend to do this. I intend to have this. I intend to be this when it comes to 11th house things, friends, groups, online, technologies, future, all of the greatest good for all, humanitarian efforts. 11th house is where Aquarius thrives. So don't waste this energy if you're a Aquarius 11th house person and set the intentions for all of those things that fall on the 11th house. And last but not least, does Aquarius rule your 12th house? This is the final house. Okay. This is the ending. This is where we let go. This is where we let go, let God. This is where we forgive. This is where we say goodbye. And so maybe, just maybe at the time of this new moon, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your moon journal and you're going to write your intentions about maybe you need to let go of someone, you need to let go of a relationship, you need to forgive someone, even if they did that thing, even if they did that thing. Maybe it's time to free yourself. Now, an Aquarius high viber is always thinking about the greatest good for all. The great Aquarius is the great humanitarian. So sometimes, just sometimes, we have to forgive even when we have been wronged, we have been dissed, but it will indeed set us free. So the forgiveness thing, the letting go thing, maybe there's an intention at the time of this new moon that you need to set regarding forgiveness and letting go. Maybe it's also regarding addictions because the 12th house is all things addiction. So maybe you have an intention to quit smoking, quit sugar, quit drinking, quit the bad things, whatever they might be. And then in 6 months' time, what you would do is you would look at your new moon journal because it would be written in your journal what you intended at the Aquarius new moon. And then 6 months later, when the full moon is in Aquarius, you're going to look back and you're going to say, that's when I quit drinking. That's when I forgave so and so, and then you realize, wow, I co-created with the universe. I did that. And so 12th house is the letting go house. It's the final house. It's the ending. And it's all things addictions. The 12th house also rules things like hospitals, orphanages, rehab centers. So maybe you're intending to get a job there. Maybe you're intending to quit your job there, you know? So maybe it has to do with those kind of organizations. But at the time of this new moon, what you're going to do No matter where it falls in your natal birth chart, you're going to grab your moon journal. I am in love with this moon journal that I created. This is the moon journal that I always wanted. I've bought so many over the years. This is the one I always wanted. It includes the dates of every new moon, full moon, and first quarter, last quarter moon. And I explain what all of that means in this book. And then I also give the degree of the moons. And then I give journal prompts of how to manifest with the moon because this is all about cycle. The moon is all about cycles. And we are so drawn to these cycles. We feel the moon's energy, even if we don't know that we are feeling the energy. And all you have to do is look at what happens on a full moon, right? What happens on a new moon? And if you look back, and if you actually have it in writing, you can see how you were already feeling this energy. You were working with the energy, and I teach you how to work with the energy. I also give you manifestation tips in terms of writing, closing eyes, thinking, speaking out loud, all the steps that are actually scientifically proven to work. So this is the moon journal I have been waiting to make. I finally made it for you. We're still in January, so you've got so much time to use this journal all year long. It is available on Amazon. I will leave the link in the description. So I'm wishing all of you an amazing new moon in Aquarius. Before we leave, I'm going to pull a tarot card. First, I'll do some shuffling. What is the message? We've got this new moon at 9 degrees Aquarius on January 29th, 4:35 a.m. PST, first thing in the morning here for us West Coasters. And it's conjunct Mercury at 2 degrees Aquarius, conjunct Pluto at 1 degree Aquarius, and trine Jupiter, the great benefic at 11 degrees Gemini retrograde Jupiter. So the other thing is Uranus, the ruler of, so Aquarius has two rulers, Saturn and Uranus. So Uranus, one of the rulers of Aquarius, which is ruling this new moon, Uranus is turning direct the day after on the 30th. So Uranus is going direct the day after this new moon, the 30th of January, and it'll be at 23 degrees of Taurus. So there's so much cosmic energy with this new moon that it's time to embrace all things Aquarius. All things Aquarius is the great genius. It is the forward thinker, the future thinker. And when an Aquarius is vibing at their highest, they are thinking about humanity and the greatest good for all. So wherever it falls in your natal birth chart, you can go back. I'll leave the timestamps for you to find where Aquarius falls in your own natal birth chart. That's where you are the great genius, like the great high vibing Aquarius, future thinking, forward thinking, great humanitarian. And that's where you can set a new moon intention with the help of my new 2025 Moon Manifesting Journal. I step you through every single new moon and full moon of the year to help you manifest with the moon. So here is the tarot card for this beautiful 9 degree Aquarius new moon on the 29th of January. Here it is. This is the card. It is the Seven of Wands upright. Now, if you look at him, his face, he's still okay. Even though he's been defending himself, sticking up for himself, he's had to put up a bit of a fight, but it's the wands. The wands is a fire energy. And the wands are, yeah, it is the Aries, the Leo. I'm a Aries woman, so I know all about this wands energy. You have the life force energy in you to keep going. And that's exactly what he's doing. Like, sure, you've all been trying to throw this at me, giving me more work, saying I'm not doing good enough, giving me all of this criticism, whatever it is that they've been dishing to him, he still has his wand. He's still able to say, look, I know myself. I remember who I am. You can say what you want about me, you can think what you want about me, but I know who I am. I know I am the great genius. I know I have this Aquarius energy within me. I can tap into it anytime I want. And when I look at my natal birth chart, I know the house placement. I just went through all the house placements for you. I know this is where I am the great genius. I know this is where I'm going. This is my future. And he's saying that. He's saying, no matter what life has thrown my way, I can still see my future. I can still see it. I can still go there. I can still imagine the greatest good for all. And that is what all of us have the opportunity to do at the time of this 9-degree Aquarius new moon on January the 29th. I love the Seven of Wands card showing up for us to encourage all of us to embrace this opportunity to write out your new moon intention so that in 6 months' time, when the moon is full in Aquarius, that will be the end of this cycle. This is the beginning of the cycle. This is where we plant the seeds in our Aquarius house placement so that in 6 months' time, we can see, we will reap our harvest. We will see what has grown, what has manifested, and no matter what life has thrown our way, no matter what they're saying, no matter what lies have been said about you, no matter how many times you've tried in the past, you can see the future, you can be the great genius, and you can manifest that high vibe in Aquarius energy, which is all about the greatest good for all. So I hope this new moon in Aquarius video has served you. Let me know in the comments below, where does Aquarius fall in your natal birth chart? And are you start thinking about your new moon intentions if you'd like to share them with us, or if you'd like to write them down in your new moon journal that is available on Amazon, please do so. And I'm wishing you all the best.